Hi everyone, this is Helloangel.design. Today I'm going to show you how to make an easy drawstring bag. It's so super easy to make, it's not so difficult. If my tutorial has been helpful, don't forget to thumbs up, make a comment down below if you have any questions, and let's get started. I have cut my fabric ready. I will put the measurement on the description down below in case you're interested of making this kind of drawstring bag. This is my interfacing. It's a lightweight interfacing, so I'm going to iron it on my made fabric. And this is my handle. I fold inside 1 centimeter and I fold it again 1 centimeter and I fold it into 2. You can also see that I have iron interfacing on my handle. So I cut 2 handle, so this is it, 2 pieces. And my pocket, I also cut 2 pieces. This is my made fabric and this is my lining. So let's start putting the bag together. First thing that you have to do, put your pocket together. Make sure both front are facing each other. You can see I put the both front together. Pin it all around. I have pinned that already. Once you have done that, what you're going to do, take it to your sewing machine, stitch it all the way down, leave a gap about 1 inch or 1.5 inch. Back stitch from the beginning and come down here. Make sure to back stitch and you leave this gap, back stitch again and go ahead and stitch it all around. Once you have done that, take your handle to your sewing machine. Like I said before, I fold inside 1 centimeter and I fold it again and I press it into 2. This is how it is. Don't forget to also iron your interfacing on your handle. Then make sure when you're doing this, you are in your ironing board and you just press it very nice. Once you have done that, take it to your sewing machine, give it a top stitch all the way down. You come to the other side of the edge, give it a top stitch all the way down. You do the same thing on the both handle. So go ahead and stitch your pocket in place and also stitch your handle. I have top stitched my handle. This is how it is. Make sure you should do the same. And I also do the same thing with the pocket. And I turn it inside out and give it a nice press. This is my open gap right here. The next thing that you have to do, take your pocket to your sewing machine, give it a top stitch all the way down. So go ahead and top stitch the top edge of your pocket. I have top stitched the pocket. This is how it is. I just give it 2 stitches right here. You don't have to, you can just stitch 1 stitch line. The next thing that you have to do, this is my made fabric. So you're going to take a measurement down 5 centimeter and you come to the other side, you do the same thing. So I will use my ruler from the very top edge of the bag. I will measure down 5 centimeter and I'll come to the other side and I will do the same thing. Then turn your fabric and do the same thing on this side. Measure down 5 centimeter. You come to this side, you do the same thing. Once you have done that, take your ruler, give it a straight line. Turn your fabric, also give it a straight line. The next thing that you have to do, from this line, measure up 2 centimeter. From this very line, measure up 2 centimeter. And take your ruler, give it a straight line. You will turn it like this and do the same thing on this side. I am finished marking where I'm going to stitch. As you can see, the 2 mark right here. Also go ahead and do the same thing on the back fabric. So this is my back fabric. Also go ahead and measure down 5 centimeter. From that 5 centimeter, measure up 2 centimeter. You do the same thing on your lining. Why I am marking the both back and front is because for the back you're going to stitch it to one point and leave a gap and then stitch it all the way around. And when you're done stitching your bag, you're also going to top stitch the front of your bag. So that is why I just did it once. You don't have to come back again and start measuring where you're going to stitch. So I just did it one time. And so go ahead and do that, and then we can pull the bag together. I have finished taking my measurement. This is it. And I did the same thing inside the fabric. That is the back of the fabric. I did the same thing with the lining and the back of the lining. So this is how it is. The next thing that you have to do, take your lining to your ironing board, fold it into two so that you have a center crease. You take your pocket, this is my pocket, also take it to your ironing board, fold it into two like this, and you also have a center crease. So what you're going to do, place your measuring tape at the top edge of your fabric, measure down 4 3/4 inch. Once you have done that, take your marker, just give it a mark. As you can see, I have done that already. Place your pocket like this. So you're going to pin your pocket in place. So when you're pinning your pocket in place, make sure to separate your lining. You are not pinning the both together. Just separate your lining. You can do it like this. Make sure the both center crease are matched. Just go ahead and pin your pocket in place. Once you have done pinning, take it to your sewing machine, give it a top stitch all the way down at the bottom edge and at the side. Do not top stitch the top edge because you have already done that. Just go ahead and give it a top stitch on the side, the bottom edge, and down. So go ahead and top stitch. I have top stitched my pocket in place. This is how it finally looks. The next thing that you have to do is to measure where you're going to put your handle. From the side of the fabric, you're going to take a measurement of 2.5 inch. So you place your measuring tape 2.5 inches right here. And you do the same thing on the other side. From the side of the fabric, you take a measurement of 2.5 inch. Place your measuring tape 2.5 inches right here. And then you turn your fabric. So you do the same thing on the other side. Once you have taken the 2.5 inch from the side seam of the bag, so this is my handle, this is it. Place it like this and take your pin that in place. And then you turn it, make sure that the handle is not twisted, and you turn it and you come to this side. You do the same thing, 2.5 inch inside, and pin that in place. Then turn your fabric. You do the same thing on the other side. Once you have done that, take it to your sewing machine, give it a top stitch right here, and you come to this side, give it a top stitch to secure the handle in place. I have top stitched the handle. This is how it is. The next thing that you have to do is to pull the both side seam of the bag together. So put them together, make sure both fronts are facing each other. Just go ahead and pin it all in place. I have pinned the both back together, both the lining and my made fabric. Make sure both fronts are facing each other, and you do the same thing with the lining. Make sure both fronts are facing each other. What you're going to do, take it to your sewing machine, stitch from the beginning and end where the 2 centimeters started. From here to here, you end there. Leave this gap, continue from here, make sure to back stitch and stitch it all the way down. And you come to this side from the very top end where the 2 centimeters started, and leave this gap, and then make sure to also back stitch right here and stitch it all the way down. And you do the same thing with the lining. You can see that I put a different pin. I will stitch from here, I will back stitch and end here, and I will also back stitch, and I will back stitch from here. I'm leaving this gap, and I will stitch all the way down here to this pink pin and leave this gap 2.5 inch, back stitch from here all the way down, so that when I finish stitching I can turn my bag inside out. That is why I leave these 2.5 inch right here, and I will continue from here, back stitch from the top and also back stitch right here, leave this 2 centimeter, back stitch from here and all the way down. So go ahead and top stitch. I have top stitched the both side seam. This is how it is, and I did the same thing with the lining. This is my open gap, and I also go ahead and give it a top stitch right here. Why I did that, because you can see the raw edges of the fabric is coming out. So the best way, just go ahead and give it a top stitch like that. I have watched some tutorials, they don't really do that. Once you finish putting all your bag together and you put your rope, the raw edges will always come out at the front of your bag. So the best way is just to top stitch to secure the raw edges, and the raw edges cannot come out from your front bag. So make sure you should do the same. The next thing that you have to do is to bust your corners. Make sure you also do the same thing with your lining. So fold it like this, just like that. So I'm going to take a measurement of 2 inch. I will place my measuring tape like this. So this is 2 inch, and I will give it a mark. And I will place my ruler like this and give it a straight mark. And take my pin that in place. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. I have pinned it all together. As you can see, I just pinned them in place, and I did the same thing on this side. And I also do the same thing on the lining. Take it to your sewing machine, give it a top stitch all the way down. You do the same thing on your lining. Once you have done that, cut out the excess. I have top stitch. This is how it is. I just turn it inside out. And the lining, this is the back of the lining, and this is the front of my made fabric. The next thing that you have to do, so the front bag inside the lining. So this is the front of my lining. I'll put it inside like this, and I will just go ahead and pin it all around. Once you have done pinning, take it to your sewing machine, give it a top stitch all around. My seam allowance is 1 centimeter. So go ahead and top stitch all. I have top stitch. This is how it is. And this is my open gap. Just put your hand inside and pull out your bag. This is how it is right now. The next thing that you have to do, take it to your ironing board and give it a nice press. So go ahead and iron your bag properly. I have ironed my bag all around. The next thing that you have to do, take your bag to your sewing machine, give it a top stitch at the top edge all around. For the handle, you can backstitch 2 to 3 times to secure the handle. Once you have done with that, you can see my 2 centimeter line right here, the line that I marked before. Let me just place a pin right here. So this is my line, 2 centimeter. Also go ahead and give it a top stitch all the way around, and you come down here and you do the same thing, give it a top stitch all the way around. So go ahead and stitch your bag in place. I have top stitch. This is how it finally look. I just top stitch it all around. The next thing that you have to do, cut a rope. The length that I have right here is 32 inch. Then place your pin or whatever you use. So I'll just put mine like this, and then I will put it inside this hole right here. This is the hole. Just put it inside. You just keep pushing it in all around. Go ahead and do the same. So this is how it finally look once you have done making your drawstring bag. If this tutorial is being helpful, don't forget to thumbs up, subscribe, make a comment down below if you have any questions. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a beautiful day. Bye.